Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nudge here once again, and this is going to be another tier list. So, last time we did a tier list, we looked at the weapons from Ratchet and Clank going Commando. But this time we're looking at the gadgets, similar to, of course, what we did with the first game, and kind of spoiler, what we're going to be doing with the games going forward. So we got a decent amount of gadgets here. I forget whether or not this is more or less than what was in the first game. And, some complications when finding these, but we'll get to them. But yeah. So nevertheless, we also have our tier. So our top tier is mega useful. Well, of course, mega core makes sense. And so mega useful. I mean, it's a really good gadget, really fun, and serves its purpose. And admittedly, quite a few of these gadgets are kind of situational, so we do kind of have to grade it on a curve. But nevertheless, we got A tier, which is not top tier, but still really good, really solid. B tier is kind of the middle ground, not great, not horrible, but good or okay. C tier is almost at the bottom, one or two things keeping it from the bottom, and then crossed out, meaning it's a terrible gadget, put it away. And if you don't get the crossed out reference, play Going Commando. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So, starting with the charge boots. Now, unlike the weapons, actually, they were listed in alphabetical order, or as I found them on the fandom wiki, which admittedly I did for the other one as well, but I also went by kind of the order that they came out, at least that you acquire them in the game, at least for the weapons. But here, for the most part, aside from a couple, they're in alphabetical order. But anyway, so we got the charge boots here. So the charge boots essentially allow Ratchet to travel super duper fast, as in really fast, as to help him get across like very big gaps. At least he's kind of intended, but even helps you get from place to place. He's admittedly cool concept. I'll give them that, cool concept, and I could appreciate the intent, what they were going for, but I didn't. I found myself obviously I used them when I first got them, when I played the game, but otherwise I didn't really have too much use for them after the fact. Like I said, decent in concept. I'm sure people use them to zip around, but especially when you have the chance to fall off a ledge, because you can't stop yourself. Yeah, I didn't really get too much use out of these, but I can appreciate the intent. So you know what? Perhaps it's the generosity. I don't know, but we're gonna put these in B tier. Yeah, so the charge boots are going to go in B tier. Next up is the Dynamo. The Dynamo, and I'll usually explain each gadget's purpose, is, of course, the Dynamo activates special platforms that allow you to jump on them, that allow you to get from place to place. They're there for a limited time. They're almost supposed to be like holograms in a way, at least from design, but otherwise generating different platforms. And there are some Dynamo puzzles throughout the game. So the Dynamo in that regard is decent. Provides some platforming challenges for Ratchet to obviously platform through, but yeah. So with that in mind, I think this one I will. I think I'll also put these in B. Yeah, there's a decent amount of them, decent amount of Dynamo sections through the game, but yeah, I think I'll put them in B. Next up is the gravity boots. So these are actually, and same with a few of the gadgets here, actually quite a few. These are returning from the first game. So this pretty much allows Ratchet to go on magnetic surfaces. That's walk on magnetic surfaces and things like that. The only thing is that there aren't that many of them in Going Commando, at least not that I remember. They were a bit more prevalent in the first game. Obviously, they're still here, and you're still able to use them, but but otherwise they serve their purpose. So I can't be too harsh on them. But this one is gonna go in B, and I promise not all of these are going in B tier. By no means. But next up is the grind boots. So also returning from the first game, and similar to the grind rail. Well, so for going on grind rails, I should say. So the grind boots allow you to slide on the grind rails, just like you did in the first game. And also, what I do like is kind of similar to the first game. They equip automatically when you go onto a grind in section or a magnetic surface, like with the gravity boots. But the grind boots, boots in that regard, I think I'll also put in. I think I'll also put in. Yeah, I think I'll put them in B. Not as many, again, similar to the gravity boots, a bit more than the gravity boots, but otherwise, the ground sections are a little fun though, so I'll give them that. Next up is the heli pack. Now, this is also returning from the first game. However, unlike the first game, they give you both the heli pack and the thruster pack at the same time. Guess which one I never used? Yeah, like the first game, you got the heli pack first, and so you had that to go for a while, and then you got the thruster pack later on in the game. I believe you got the thruster pack when you got to Pokitaru, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have been earlier, or I forget exactly which level you get the thruster pack. But yeah, the heli pack and the thruster pack you get at the same time in the game. So therefore, this one rendered pretty obsolete. At least for me, I always just use the thruster pack. So the heli pack, unfortunately, it's there. I know some people do like to switch off, but for me, I think I might have to put them in C, at least in terms of this game. But next up is the Hydro Pack, also returning from the first game, and allowing you to traverse underwater. And you also get you get all three packs at the same time, and they do help you go fast in water, which is super useful. So the Hydro Pack, in that regard, I think I will put in A actually. So, the Hydro Pack, being able to use it in water, or I'm gonna go A there. But next up is the Hypnomatic. So what the Hypnomatic does is it allows you to take control of different robots and use them in different puzzles and stuff in order to get things done, clear pathways and things like that. But otherwise, there aren't really that many sections in the game. Only like a couple. The idea of you getting multiple pieces to form the Hypnomatic is interesting in theory, but you end up getting them through regular play and exploration anyway. But the Hypnomatic otherwise is aside from those other purposes is don't really serve too much of a purpose. The sections are with the Hypnomatic are kind of okay though, but yeah, I think I gotta put it in C. It's very situational, which to an extent the Dynamo kind of is too, but at least you do other stuff as well. Mainly in the realm of platforming, which is what the game has you do anyway. But yeah, the Hypnomatic is okay, just not. It's very situational. Yeah, I'll leave it in C. I might be being a bit too harsh, I admit, but yeah, I think I'll leave it in C. But next up is the Swing Shot, also returning from the first game. Still just as useful because there are quite a few Swing Shot areas, and it pretty much serves the exact same purpose as before. So I think this one is our first mega useful, because the Swing Shot not only serves a lot of purpose, but it's also pretty fun. And I do like in the later games how the Swing Shot, you don't have to manually equip every time to use it. Instead, Ratchet just has it automatically, which I think is a very nice upgrade for the Swing Shot. But next up is the Terminator. So The Terminator's purpose is in bodies of water, like water areas, as you're able to either heat up or freeze the water to raise or lower the water's level so that you can traverse through. Very also situational, very like the Hypnomatic and the Dynamo, but the game does get quite a bit of mileage out of the Terminator, and it's a cool concept as well. In theory, being able to either heat up or freeze water, like imagine something like that in real life, or really any of these gadgets, but especially imagine this in like real life, but yeah, so for that they do get quite a bit of mileage out of it, but it is still situational. But I think the fact that the game does get a bit of mileage out of it, not always for the best, but I think that does kind of put it over the edge a little bit. So I think I'll go B on the Terminator there. But next up is going to be the Thruster Pack. And I kind of mentioned before how I ended up using the Thruster Pack pretty much almost exclusively the entire time, obviously except for the water areas, and pretty much serving the exact same purpose as it did in the first game. So this one is going to go in mega useful, well, at least for me. But next up is the Tractor Beam. Another pretty situational gadget, pretty much almost in the same vein as like the Dynamo, in which you're able to very much manipulate the environment around you. You're able to move different platforms and different things like that. The game also does get a decent amount of mileage, the Tractor Beam as well. So what that merits, I am going to put the Tractor Beam in B. So the Tractor Beam is going to go in B. Actually, forgot the M there. But next up is the Electrolyzer. So this and another gadget we'll look at, pretty much in a similar vein to like the Trespasser, or where you're able to use it to open up new pathways and stuff. But first you gotta play a little mini game. Except the Electrolyzer mini game and the other one, to an extent, kind of suck. Like the Electrolyzer is definitely like if you have good peripheral vision, and then you'll be able to conquer the Electrolyzer and its puzzles pretty easily. Although it can get pretty annoying. But if you have terrible peripheral vision, good luck. So essentially, you have to turn different switches so that electric nodes go through and pass through them, but you have to see it coming, where the peripheral part comes in. But then you also have to think ahead a little bit, and it very much is trial and error. So the Electrolyzer is it can get kind of annoying, and thankfully they're not super long. Ooh, actually hit X, but thankfully they're not super long, but it is still pretty annoying. So I'm sorry. The Electrolyzer's got to get crossed out. Not really a fan of it. Next up is the Levitator. Now, the Levitator is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool concept. And I actually forgot the Hang Glider as well. And the reason I mentioned in the beginning that some of these were kind of tricky to find is because, as on the wiki, they weren't mentioned, and on other websites I went to, they aren't mentioned. But I remembered them from memory, which for me is a shocker. I remembered that they are in the game, so I included them here, but they weren't really listed. I couldn't really find them. I had to look them up manually by name. But the Levitator are interesting in concept, almost like the jetpack from the new Ratchet and Clank game. But I wish it got a little bit more mileage. I think in maybe 2 or 3 sections you really get to use the Levitator, which is pretty disappointing. So the Levitator is going to go in B. Interesting concept, just not really executed the best. All right, so there, then and the second to last one is the last one here, but that's because I forgot the hang glider was the infiltrator. The infiltrator is pretty much the other puzzle hacking gadget, like the electrolyzer. But this one actually is trial and error. So what you do, you're on kind of a sphere, and you go from node to node, trying to connect it back. The only thing is, it very much is trial and error because essentially you don't really know. You're probably not going to get the right path on your first time around, and you're under a time limit. And once the time limit ends, you essentially go right back to the start. You got to do the whole thing over again, and pretty annoying. Not really that fun, unfortunately. So the infiltrator, just like the good old electrolyzer, is gonna be crossed out, unfortunately. Didn't mean to do that. Meant to do this. Sadly, not really that fun, which is sad. Granted, the trespassers from the first game had kind of its moments where it wasn't that fun, but it wasn't really annoying or egregious like the two hacking puzzle gadgets this time around, unfortunately. But the last one is the hang glider, which I forgot to include here, but I will talk about it. The hang glider, similar to the levitator, kind of cool in concept, of going around having to keep yourself in the air and you essentially glide. Except at this one, only I think really has like 2 locations where it's used, so not as much mileage as the other one, as the levitator as well. Either that is whereas the levitator I think is a little bit more interesting with the ability to rise up and down. The hang glider is more. It's more or less kind of a straight line. You can adjust your height, especially because there is in the I forget which planet it is, but there is a secret nanotech upgrade that really tests out your hang glider prowess, and it took me quite a few attempts. I actually don't even think I attempted it on this playthrough. I know, because I also had Going Commando on the PS2, which is actually how I broke my PS2. So if you want to learn more about that, check out my review of Ratchet and Clank Going Commando from way earlier in the year. But yeah, but yeah. So the hang glider sadly gets even less use. So I think I might have to put it in C. It wasn't really the best. It's interesting concept, but didn't really get utilized to its fullest. But I will, of course, show you the hang glider, or why not? Because just so you can see how it looks, or the momentum glider, I should say. Momentum glider. Well, yeah, we'll rename it. Why not? But yeah, so you can see how it looks, and here you see this is the area. But yeah, so the momentum glider, and we'll just call it hang glider. Nah, cause we call everything else by its name. So we'll be fair. We'll call it the momentum glider. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this tier list. So to recap, in Mega Useful we have the Swing Shot and the Thruster Pack. In the A tier we have the Hydro Pack. In the B tier we have Charge Boost, the Dynamo, the Gravity Boost, the Grind Boost, the Terminator, the Tractor Beam, and the Levitator. In C tier we have the Helipack, the Hypnomatic, and the Momentum Glider. And in crossed out the two puzzle gadgets, that being the Electrolyzer and the Infiltrator. Thankfully, there's not too many sections of either of those, but yeah, they are kind of annoying. But nevertheless, that is going to do it for this tier list. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the tier list and my rankings. Do you agree or disagree? And yeah, but thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.